Hey guys, so it's just me today. Trinity and I were going to get together to film a video, but yesterday I felt so sick and horrible that I told her I didn't want to get her sick, so we should just film our own videos and then upload them at the same time so that you can still see both of us, but just in separate videos. So for her video, she did a Q&A, and for my video, I'm going to do the top 5 conspiracy theories that I found the coolest, creepiest, and silliest. So the first conspiracy theory that I wanted to talk about is the conspiracy theory that the Bermuda Triangle actually doesn't exist. Now, many theorists believe that the Bermuda Triangle actually does not exist, and that the only reason that there is so much speculation about it today is because of inventive writers who saw great stories where there were none. Many believe that considering the vast stretch of the water that falls under the Bermuda Triangle umbrella, the disappearances of sea and air vessels is completely on par with the disappearances and drownings elsewhere on the Earth. Even Lloyd's Maritime Information Services in London shows no extraordinary attention on it. For most maritime insurance authorities as well, the region simply does not exist because it carries no greater risk than any other stretch of ocean around the globe. So for many, because the risks of drowning or disappearances of planes and ships around that specific area, it's just, for many, it's the same. So this next theory that I wanted to talk about is the theory of JFK's assassination. Now, if you don't know about the JFK assassination, that is that JF Kennedy died in, I don't know the specific year, but he was assassinated, and it is the 52nd year anniversary since then. So concerning the JFK assassination, they think they know who did it, they think they suspect the person that ended up doing it, but there's no hard criminal evidence against him, so right now he's just a suspect that everybody thinks did it, but no one really knows for sure. So the magic bullet theory says that Lee Harvey Oswald fired just 3 bullets in Dallas, but he killed JFK and badly wounded Governor John Connally, who was sitting in the front seat of the limousine. The Warren Commission, the investigation into JFK's killing set up in 1963, came up with the single bullet theory to explain how Oswald did so much damage with just 3 rounds. It says that both men were hit by a single bullet, which entered JFK's upper back, exited his throat, and then struck Connally, breaking his ribcage and shattering his wrist, then finally coming to rest in his thigh. Skeptics say that the trajectory was fanciful and renamed the theory the magic bullet theory. It's just one reason why conspiracy theorists think that there was more than one shooter involved that day. So that one's actually a cool conspiracy theory because it does say what's kind of impossible, saying that it went up through his back, exited his throat, and then went into Connally, in through his ribcage, and then breaking his wrist, and then staying in his thigh. So that's kind of like an impossible thing to happen. It's a really cool conspiracy theory. A little impossible, but a cool conspiracy theory nonetheless. So the next conspiracy theory that I want to talk about, I also find, there's a hair on me, I also find kind of cool because it talks about the Malaysia airline flights. Because as we know, there was 2 of them, the MH370 and the MH17, and most conspiracy theorists say that they were both the same plane. So the Malaysia airline flight MH370 disappeared on March 8, 2014, and is yet to be found despite an extensive research operation. Just over 4 months later, on July 17, 2014, another Malaysia airline flight, MH17, crashed in eastern Ukraine, near the Russian border, apparently having been shot down by a missile. To most people, the 2 tragedies looked like a terrible coincidence, but to conspiracy theorists, there are no coincidences. And MH370 and MH17 were in fact the same airplane. WorldTruth.tv is one of the many sites that argues that the MH370 was hijacked and flown to U.S. military base Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. The US propaganda machine then staged the shooting down of MH17 so that the Russians would lose credibility. The theory fails to explain why the same propaganda victory could not have been achieved, assuming it was desired, simply by shooting down any passenger aircraft over the Ukraine-Russian border. I'm sure there's more research on it somewhere else, but on the site that I was on, I couldn't find a lot except for a small paragraph. And yeah, but it's actually a really cool conspiracy theory. You can search it up yourself, as with the rest of these theories that I'm saying and going to mention. So I thought we'd switch it up a bit and have a silly, goofy, and just overall ridiculous conspiracy theory. So this conspiracy theory is the theory that Hitler is still alive, and if it was true, then he would be 125 years old. The Hitler is still alive rumors have circulated since the 1970s, fueled by the fact that his crony Joseph Mengele hid in South America. Stories like this one, however, speculate the 125-year-old Hitler has been responsible for various world disasters, including 9/11 and the 2010 Gulf oil spill, which happened on his birthday. Other theories say he died in 1984 in Brazil, aged 94, or in Argentina, aged 73. So this one is a really ridiculous theory because it is extremely rare for someone to live over 100, let alone 125. I'm sure it's happened before, but it is extremely rare. And it's overall just a really ridiculous theory. I'm not even going to try and put logic behind it because it's just so ridiculous. And someone was just probably really bored one day and was like, hey, what if Hitler was still alive? So overall, it's just a really silly, goofy theory that I thought I would throw in there because it's just, it's ridiculous. So yeah, the very last theory that I have to tell you about is probably one of my favorites. It's so cool, I can't even begin to explain it. It's called the Mandela Effect, and it's called that, I'm not exactly sure why, but it's basically the theory that we go through like loopholes or we like switch realities and universes, and stuff that we remember from the first universe changes as we go into the second universe. I don't know how much of that made sense, but I'll give you a couple examples. The first example I have is one of the most widely known examples, and it's that the Berenstain Bears is a show that we all remember watching as a child, or that most of us remember watching. And a lot of us remember it being spelled with an E, the Berenstain Bears, because that's how it always was pronounced for us. So that's how we always remember it. But the truth be known is that it's actually spelled with an A. So instead of it being pronounced the Berenstain Bears, it's pronounced the Berenstain Bears. Which is a little awkward to say, but it's the truth. So we all know the show Sex and the City, right? It was a movie series, it's a TV series, and whether or not we've watched it, we all know about it. We knew it as Sex and the City. But it's actually titled Sex and the City. So that's a little bit of a open your eyes moment. There's plenty of examples out there. If you don't believe the ones that I'm telling you, there's so many examples. Google it for yourself. It's such a cool, interesting topic. It's so cool. It's awesome. It's so interesting to read about and to learn about. So that's all the conspiracy theories I have time for today. I will leave a link in the description below for each of the websites I went on to learn about these conspiracy theories, so you can go, read up about those yourselves. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. And I will also put mine, Trinity, and the channel's Twitter and the links in the description below so that you can go check those out too. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, cookies and cream.